Hi, Dixon Jowers here. We are out at the Emporia Municipal Golf Course, our southern course, to give you a walkthrough of what the second ball golf course, what it's going to look like. It was a bit breezy out here today, so some of these shots are more difficult. This one, I'm just trying to put it right towards the base of that levee. It's about a 400-foot shot to there. This was a wind that was coming headwind and slight right to left. If you can get to that levee, you then are able to look right down the path, and the basket is on top of the levee. I was about a 280-foot shot or so that I had left. I came up maybe 50 short as I was trying to kind of carve the top of the island there, or top of the levee. You have OB water on the right. You have an OB cart path on the left. The water here you can see is right, it's a downslope just from the top of the levee. So approaching this basket, if you do not have a good putt on this one, you need to lay up. It is a dangerous green. Hole number 2, 780 feet. This was a dead headwind on this day. As you can see, the disc just bounced right out of my hand and started pushing right. There is an OB water that comes across a little less than halfway, and I thought I was maybe in it because of that headwind, but I ended up landing about 20 short. At this point, you just want to lay yourself out in the middle as close as you can to the second water that you're going to have to do, and you just don't want to be near that giant tree right there in the middle. As long as you're not right next to it or right behind it, you're going to have an open shot. Cross the water to a slightly upsloped green, so it kind of works as a backstop. However, if you were to sail this shot, there is OB right behind it, a sidewalk about 25 feet behind the basket. So you want to definitely be coming in sideways into this green. You don't want to be smoking one in there in a straight line. Water short and concrete long really pinches in this green in front and behind. Hole number 3, we're turning to go the opposite direction, so now it's a tailwind. It's about a 60 foot or so, maybe not even that far, to carry this water. If you do not carry this water, there is a drop zone that you would go to that is right at the base of a bridge just over the water. This is from a shot as though I had gone into the water. The basket is in those 5 kind of tall pine trees, and you're just looking to, you really just want to get anywhere in those trees to have your putt. This is my regular drive. I just put it out into the middle of the fairway and give myself the approach shot. You want to keep it kind of low because of the branches. The tree in front of the basket is about 30 or 40 in front, so it is protecting. You want to make sure that you don't hit that guy coming in. But as you can see, as long as you are not directly behind one of these trees, you're going to have a pretty open putt in the circle. Hole 4 is 437 feet, slightly uphill, and it is running the entire right side of that cart path is OB. So this is a shot that if you want to get close, you're going to have to really challenge OB and fly over it most of the flight, and then hyzer back in. I played this one pretty conservatively just to stay safe because the wind was swirling so much. It was mostly a tailwind, but it was definitely pushing left to right at times. So I just threw something really stable out into the open. Had about a 60-foot putt that I could run at. Really safe way to get a 3 on this hole. 2s are going to be difficult to come by on this one, so you just want to make sure you don't give away any extra strokes. Hole 5 is 378 feet, slightly uphill. This was going back into the wind. You can see the flag there on the ball washer pushing left to right. The right side of this green, or the right side of the disc golf green, the ball golf green, the blue flag you can see over my shoulder, that is out of bounds, as well as the apron around it. So you just want to make sure that you are staying safe. Again, there are lots of opportunities to give away easy strokes out here at the Municipal. You just want to make sure that you don't do that. There's going to be plenty of chances to turn bogeys or turn pars into bogeys, and that's what's going to separate the good scores from the bad scores, is how you minimize your errors. So 4 and 5 I played relatively passively just to make sure I could get my 3. Hole 6 is now turning downhill a little bit. About the second half of this fairway is downhill. I am throwing it out over the OB, at least for the initial part of the flight. There is an OB tall grass that comes in on the right. That really shouldn't come into play unless you turn something over really bad. But it's same with 4 and 5. With the wind not being very helping on these, it's just a matter of giving myself a good look. So I had about another 50-footer. Caught some good metal on the putt, but it bounced and rolled on me to about 25 or 30. Now putting into the headwind, so not what you want to leave yourself. So this is the sort of thing that you have to pay attention to on this course, is putting yourself on the good side of the basket, because if it's going to be windy out there, and it generally is, you want to make sure that you take care of business. This is a very difficult hole, 435 feet downhill. There's really no good air shot, because you have to get so far underneath the limb. So I went with the roller here, and you could see a left to right wind was pushing there. It was actually one of the better drives that I've had on this hole. Got me all the way down. I curled just inside of the sidewalk and had about a 30-foot putt on this hole. This is a difficult one to get close to because of the downslope as well as the low-hanging trees. So really anything you can do to have a putt is a really good drive. But for the most part, you're just trying to avoid going OB and take your 3 on this hole and get out of town, because there are going to be some higher scores, either from people hyzering out early into the OB left, flipping one over to the OB right, or hitting one of those early trees and then not being able to get up and down from 250 or 300. So again, 4, 5, 6, 7, if you can get your 3 and move on, you're not losing strokes to very many people. Now is one of the better chances at a 2 that you're going to have on this course. It's 279 feet. Basically, you just want to throw at those trees, and if you can get right under them, great. You don't want to come into this green very hot, because as you can see, there is a creek. This is to the left side of the basket. I hung out to the right and hit some branches and fell down, so I'm just going to take this about 30-footer and take this as a good chance to get a 2, and do what I can to, again, try to get the 2 on this hole, knowing, though, that 3 isn't awful. But there are plenty of chances, plenty of people will get the 2 on this hole, so this is a good opportunity to take advantage of. Hole 9, big fella, almost 800 feet. You're going to want to play down this fairway to the right. Just like hole 2, there is a creek or an extension of a pond that comes across this fairway all the way. So basically, you just want to clear that, put yourself out in the open, so that you then have an approach to this green. This is a very difficult green. Number 1, you're going to have to carry water to get into it, and number 2, the basket sits on top of a little mound. So I have landed right at the kind of base of that mound, giving myself about a 30-footer uphill. Not exactly what I was looking for, because I've got a big tailwind pushing on me, as well as the upslope. And if I were to sail this putt, there is OB directly on the backside of the basket from where I'm at. If you look at the icon in the bottom right corner, I'm putting directly towards that orange OB right now. So on this putt, I need to make sure to draw some metal. I was able to get some chains on this and get my birdie 3. And get out of hole 9 without any damage. Hole 10, it's basically a forced hyzer over the top of this tall grass on the right. The basket is just a little over 300 feet, and there is a little bit of a downslope right there at the basket. It's a little bit deceptive as to how far it is from the tee box. So basically, you want to put one out over the top of the tall grass as a righty and let it hyzer in. There is OB to the left, but you're not really going to find that unless you really saw one off early. It's a probably good 70 or 80 feet from the basket to the OB left. Hole 11, on the other hand, there is plenty of chance to go OB. I am this again is a right to left wind, headwind. I am trying to turn this over down the middle with a stable disc. It did skip down towards that fence, but I stayed in bounds, so I was able to have about a 50 or 60 foot run at this putt. Again, this is a hole that most people are not going to do, so it's just a matter of not being that person that gives away the extra stroke and gets a 4. So hole 11, manage yourself, stay in the ropes, stay inside the OB, and you're going to be fine. Hole 12, downhill. A lot of people like to throw a forehand on this out over the OB, coming back in. The basket is right towards the backside of this group of 5 trees. If you can put anything around there, you're going to have a putt. As you can see, the wind is whipping quite a bit. Tailwind, I believe, if it was on this putt, even to the point where you can see the chains moving around, that the wind's blowing enough to do that. But like I said, this is south of town, and this is the municipal course, so wind is going to be a factor out here. There's plenty of trees as far as obstacles, but there's not a lot of trees as far as a windbreak goes. Hole 13, this was one of the more difficult holes with the wind. The OB really pinches in on both sides in the landing area. I'm putting it out over the short fairway grass and skipping it back in with the help of that wind. It pinches down to only about 50 or 60 feet wide, and there are 3 trees that are kind of in the fairway and the basket is just past the third one of those. This is the OB runs the entire left side. This is a hole where you absolutely just want a 3. There's only, I don't know, a handful of guys in the entire world that are going to deuce this hole unless there's some sort of really helping wind. But even then, they're going to have to throw an incredibly aggressive as well as just a straight-out incredible shot in order to have a putt for 2 on this hole. So if you can get your 3 and move on, that is a good thing on hole 13. Hole 14, 646 feet, one of the more wide-open holes on this course. There is OB to the right of the cart path that I'm on, but there is a giant landing area to put it in. I've only thrown this maybe, I don't know, 350 or so. You don't have to try to break off a big chunk here. I'm going right over the corner of the fairway there, getting down into the trees, trying to play a little skip shot. This is back into the headwind. The basket sits in the middle of those cedar trees, as you can see. So you want to make sure that that you get down to that area. If you are far out away from those trees, if you leave yourself 40 or 50 feet, you might have some difficulty getting down because of the branches there. So just getting down again. This is an opportunity to play 2 smart shots and have a putt at the 3, and a 4 is not an awful score on that hole. Hole 15 plays a lot more fun when it's a tailwind. It's a downhill shot that people can usually get to the basket. With this headwind, that was not an option today. The hard part about this hole is the green. It sits on top of a couple of different mounds, and it is a very, very treacherous putt. From where I'm standing here for my putt, I am looking right past the basket. It goes down into about a 15-foot crevice there, and then back up the other side. I'm actually standing in a little bit of a swell right there. So this is a hole that you want to try to pin. You don't want to have long putts at that one, either because you're going to have to go drastically uphill or you're going to have a death putt right behind you. 16 is 359 feet over. You have a forced carry of probably just a little over 220 feet or so to get over that second set of water. It does pinch OB, the tall grass on the left, as well as the sidewalk on the right. The landing area is plenty fair, though. If you get aggressive, actually the further you go, the more it opens up. So I was about, 7 or 8 feet inside of the tall grass on the left. This is a hole where if you want to get aggressive, this is a good chance to it because of kind of the safe spot deep that if you really get on top of it, if you have a tailwind or something, you'll be able to go long and be safe. Hole 17 tees off through this first group of trees. Basically, you just want to put something down there and take your putt. This is a very difficult green to actually get right at the basket because of the trees that are short of it. You'd have to come in low and really hot in order to get, as you can see, the basket is a good 70 or 80 feet past those trees. So if you don't get through those trees clean, it's going to be tough to have a birdie putt. Again, this is managing the course, putting myself out to an easy spot to take my 3 and move on. 3s on this course are a good score. There's only a couple of holes where you're going to think that I should have had a 2, but very few and far between. Ending with 18 here, the shot that I like to take is actually a high turnover flex shot. Go with something low, maybe a low flick to the corner of the tall grass there. You got to get around the back side of it. I just like to put one out there in the field and, again, give myself a 40 or 50 footer and try to make the 2 to go home. Again, avoid the 4s. If you've not learned anything from watching this course preview, it's the idea that you need to play for the pars out here. Get your 3s, and don't be upset if you miss some of the holes. People that are going to do bad on this course are the ones that are going to tack on extra strokes because of circles, finding the tall grass, finding the water, finding the sidewalk. If you avoid those, you'll have success out at the municipal course here in Emporia, Kansas.